She looks into nothingness as if she's looking within herself, and inside everything is a mess. She pretends to be okay. She pretends that your absence doesn't matter. But if you only knew what happens in the silent moments after you turn your back, maybe you would have never left. She hides behind short phrases, neutral emojis, automatic laughs. She wants to seem mature, evolved, confident, but every unspoken word weighs like a ton in her throat. Have you ever felt this way? The sensation that someone is trying to push you away when, in reality, they are begging for you to stay? That's exactly what she's doing. She wants you to think that she's fine on her own, that moving on is easy, almost natural. But what she really feels is a suffocating emptiness, a longing that has no name, a swallowed scream every night before bed. She hates to admit weakness, because at some point in her life, being vulnerable came at a high price. Maybe someone hurt her when she opened up. Maybe it was you, or perhaps it wasn't anyone's fault. Just life, which sometimes teaches us to toughen up, even when all we want is to love lightly. But pay attention, all this indifference is a facade. Don't be fooled by her distant gaze or the coldness of her short messages, because inside, she's begging for you to notice, for you to look beyond appearances, for you to hold on a little longer. She tests your limits, and she hopes you pass the test, because deep down, she still believes in you too. Do you know what's more cruel? It's that she really believes that if she shows what she feels, she will lose you. Because in her world, showing too much love has always been the beginning of the end. So she holds back, restrains herself, bites down on her feelings like someone trying to prevent an emotional hemorrhage. But it doesn't work, because the body feels, the heart responds, and the absence hurts. She misses you in the details, in the sound of notifications that never come, in the random conversations that don't start, in the future plans that are no longer mentioned, in everything that has turned to silence. And silence for her is not rest, it's an internal war. Some days she thinks about sending you a message saying everything, that she misses you, that she still keeps that coffee from your last conversation, that she listens to the songs you used to enjoy together, that she still dreams of a reunion. But her finger hesitates before hitting send. Pride holds her back. The voice of fear screams louder. What if he doesn't feel the same? What if I'm humiliating myself? What if I'm being stupid again? And then she deletes everything. She retreats, puts on a fake smile for the world, and bleeds inside. You need to understand, she doesn't want to lose you, but she also doesn't want to lose herself for you. It's a cruel dilemma. Because every time you distance yourself, she feels the need to prove to herself that she can survive without you. And she can. But at what cost? Sleeping with a tight chest, dreaming of what doesn't come back, fighting with herself for still feeling all this. Do you think she's cold? That she moved on too quickly? Then answer this. Why does she still watch your stories? Why does she still keep your photos hidden in a folder? Why does she still refuse to completely delete you, even when she has every reason to do so? She feels, and she feels deeply. But for her, love has become a minefield. Every step has to be calculated. Every gesture has to pass through a filter of self-protection. In this, love loses space. Connection becomes strategy. Longing becomes silence. And do you notice all of this? Or do you also put on your armor and pretend you don't feel anything? Because maybe, just maybe, you're both playing the same game, each one pretending indifference, waiting for the other to give in. And in the midst of all this, what could be love becomes a contest. It's not that she wants to manipulate you, but she is scared. A fear that comes from old wounds, unhealed abandonments and broken promises. She learned that sometimes the one who loves more ends up losing, and she has lost too much already. Yet, she still thinks of you, on the way back home, in the songs playing on the radio, in the movies you watched together on lazy Sundays, in the way you looked at her when she genuinely laughed. She remembers everything. And every time you disappear, she hopes you'll return, even without asking. She imagines the door opening, the notification lighting up, the pleasant surprise of reuniting. But time goes by, and you don't come back, and she dies a little more each day, but she dies in silence. Because crying for someone who is no longer there is an intimate pain, hard to explain, unjust to feel. She wants to forget you, But the truth is that you've become part of her emotional memory. No matter how much she tries to move on, there are places inside her that only respond to your name. She goes out with other people, tries to distract herself, pretends that life goes on. But the comparison is inevitable, because no one is you. And that hurts. It hurts when she realizes that that new smile doesn't make her heart race like before. It hurts when she notices that even amidst other hugs, her body still searches for yours. It hurts when her laughter feels forced because you're not there to complete the joke. She wants to go back, but she doesn't know how. She wished you could see all this, that you would look beyond what she shows, that you would understand the signs she tries to disguise. But maybe you're also stuck in pride, or fear, or the false idea that she has forgotten you. And meanwhile, you both lose each other. Two hearts searching for one another without admitting it. Two prides repelling each other even while longing to embrace. She pretends she doesn't feel, but she feels everything. And when she lies down at night, the silence is deafening. You might think she is strong, but don't confuse strength with coldness. She is strong, yes, because she still endures all of this in silence. But inside her, there's a mess of feelings that she can't organize anymore. She wanted to call you to say, "I still care." But the fear of rejection paralyzes her. So she pulls away. And you believe that she has forgotten, but she has just stepped back to protect herself. Deep down, she hopes you'll reach out, because love, when it's true, always leaves traces. And if you felt something for her, look again. Read between the lines. Listen to her silence, because sometimes the loudest scream is the one that goes unheard. She doesn't want to convince you of anything, but she wishes you knew. She still feels, and if you feel it too, maybe there's still time. But only if someone has the courage to break the silence. Only if someone has the courage to say, "I'm back, because I never really managed to let you go." And then, can you both overcome pride before love dies? Or will you continue pretending that everything is fine, while bleeding inside, separated by a silence that should have never existed? She wakes up in the middle of the night with the feeling that something is wrong. The room is silent, but her mind is screaming. Her body is there, lying down, but her soul is wandering somewhere between the past and what could have been. She checks her phone. Nothing. No messages, no attempts to reconnect. And in that moment, everything she tried to forget comes rushing back. The laughter you shared, the conversations that lasted for hours, the promises whispered during a tight embrace. It wasn't just routine, it was connection. It was the kind of thing that doesn't come along twice in a lifetime. But life has this cruel talent of pushing away even those who should have stayed. And she, wanting to appear strong, accepted the distance as one would accept a sentence. She let you go, even when everything inside her wanted to hold on. She rehearsed dialogues, words, outbursts. She thought 1,000 times about reaching out to you. But every attempt hit an invisible barrier, the fear of not being reciprocated, of seeming pathetic, of reliving the pain. Because deep down, she isn't afraid of you. She's afraid of herself, of what she feels, of the intensity with which she feels, of how loving has become a risk, an exposure that's nearly unbearable. Do you think she left, that she moved on? She just hid in a place where the pain doesn't reach her as quickly. Places like that are cold. They're lonely, but they're safe. She built walls, not because she stopped caring, but because caring too much has cost her too dearly. She learned to harden herself to survive. And ironically, the more she pretends not to feel, the more she hurts. Do you remember that time she went silent during an argument? It wasn't disinterest. It was fear of speaking and making things worse, fear of imploding inside, of revealing too much, of giving you more ammunition to walk away. Her silence has always been a shield, a desperate attempt not to shatter, and you perhaps unknowingly interpreted it as coldness, indifference. But please understand this. The absence of words doesn't mean the absence of feeling. Some people love so much that they can't express it in words, because everything they feel is too big, too painful, too complex to be explained. She is one of those people, and what hurts the most is that she believes you'll never understand. She watches your life from afar, sees you posting, laughing, going out, and she smiles, but with a heavy heart, Because it's not jealousy, it's nostalgia for what you both were when you were us. She wonders if you feel the same, if you miss her, if you remember, and even if you don't show it, she still hopes. She's afraid of being forgotten, of becoming a blurred memory or whatever. And even if she says otherwise, she still cares about what you think. She would still like you to see the truth behind her pride. Do you know what's more cruel? She would still stand up for you, even when she's hurt. If someone talked badly about you, she would say you have a good heart, that you're just confused, that maybe you're just as scared as she is. Because to love when it's true does this. It protects even after pain. It still wants the best for the other, even from a distance. She learned to smile with her face and cry with her heart. She learned not to wait, but to still dream. She learned not to chase after you, but never to completely shut the door. Because there's a part of her, maybe small, maybe huge, that still believes you will come back. That one day you'll look back, realize everything that was there, and decide it's worth trying again. She doesn't want you to come back out of pity or nostalgia. She wanted you to come back out of love, out of choice, because even when hurt, she would still have space to welcome you. Not in the same way. She has changed, grown, learned, but the love she feels has never been weak. It was simply hidden behind a pride that served as armor and as a prison. She is tired of being strong all the time, tired of pretending she doesn't feel, of repressing what pulses, of lying to herself. But at the same time, she still fears giving herself fully. Because every time you leave, you take a piece of her with you, and she is fed up with rebuilding herself. Do you know what she truly wanted deep down? For you to come back without her having to ask. For you to say, I understand everything, and I'm here. No expectations, no games, no pride, just presence, real presence, constant, secure. But she doesn't know if that will happen. And that's why she remains silent. She goes on with her life, but with that tiny spark of hope still alive, disguised, almost invisible. Because when the feeling is real, it endures, even when hurt, even when doubted. And maybe, just maybe, you're reading all of this right now and realizing that this text is about her. Or maybe this text is about you. Maybe you're the person who pretends to be indifferent while bleeding inside, who hides out of fear, who tests to see if they still matter, who drops hints between the lines because they don't have the courage to speak directly. If that's you, it's okay. You're not alone. The world is full of people who feel too much and show too little, who love in silence, who wait, even while denying it, who fight internally against the desire to chase after. But at some point, someone needs to give in. Someone needs to be brave enough to cross the barrier of fear, because life doesn't wait. And love, when it's not nurtured, dies. And maybe this is the last sign that the universe is sending. Go after it, or say that you care, or forgive, or at least say that you still think of them. Because nothing is more bitter than the regret of not having truly tried. Don't wait too long. She might be tired. She might be pulling away for good. She might be learning to live without you. And when that happens, it might be too late. So if something in you still pulses, still feels, still believes, maybe it's time to do what pride has held you back from until now. Simply say, I still care. What happens after that, no one knows. But sometimes a sincere gesture changes everything. And if you still have doubts about how she feels, listen to the silence. Because it speaks more than any word. She just wished you would listen. And can you still hear? She still dreams even when she swears she has forgotten. She still feels even when she says she has moved on. And you might not even imagine, but her name still keeps you in silence. The truth is that nobody teaches how to deal with this kind of absence. The kind that hurts in silence. The kind that weighs heavy even without noise. The kind that insists on staying even when the person is already gone. She doesn't want drama. She doesn't want you to come back out of pity, but she truly wished you could see beyond her pride, before it was too late. Because there's a limit, even for the most patient hearts. At some point, silence wears thin. Waiting takes its toll. Hope fades away. And when that moment arrives, there's no going back. She's not going to beg. She's not going to chase you. But she will never forget what you shared. So if there's still something inside you, don't let it die because of ego. Speak up. Show up. Ask if she's okay. Because believe me, Sometimes all a person needs is to know that they still matter. Do you feel like someone is pretending to be indifferent when in reality they're screaming inside? Or are you that person? If this text resonated with you, brought back memories, made you think of someone or even yourself, share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever lived through something like this? Have you hidden a strong feeling out of fear of seeming vulnerable? Or did you realize that someone was pretending to be cold to protect themselves? Comment below. I read everything. And if this content touched you, made you reflect, or helped you see someone in a new light, give it a like. It helps me understand that you value messages like this, which go beyond the surface. And of course, subscribe to the channel. Here, we talk about what no one has the courage to say, with truth, intensity, and respect for all that we feel, but don't always manage to put into words. Because sometimes all someone needs is to know they're not alone in this mess called feeling. And maybe, just maybe, love is still there, waiting for the courage to return. See you in the next video.